Hi everyone. Whether you are someone who's looking to get a job with no experience as a teenager, or you're doing a career shift and you don't know whether they're going to accept you because your experience is in something else, in this video we'll cover some of the most important things you need to fix so that you can actually get that job even if you have no experience. And if you don't do it, well, you're pretty screwed. The first thing you need to do is to smash that like button below because, well, I mean, not to get the actual job, but you get the idea. It actually helps with the algorithm, and this video is free. So what is the first thing that you need to take into consideration when you're trying to get a job with no experience? Well, the first thing is that you need to ask yourself, do you have the qualifications or capabilities to actually do that job, but the employers are telling you that they feel like you don't have experience? Because let me tell you something, at the end of the day, when they tell you that they can't hire you because they feel like you don't have experience, what's really happening here is that they do not see the line between what they need and what you have to offer. This just means that there is a difference in what they're looking for and how you are presenting yourself. So if you actually have most or a good amount of the capabilities required for that job, then that means that you can still be a pretty good candidate and you can probably be hired if you brand it yourself the right way. If you actually go in and you have confidence and you're able to present yourself in a way that's gonna lead them to want to hire you. This is a multiple step problem. This has to do with, on one end, how you market yourself in your resume and in your interviews. How good are you at showing your transferable skills and how you have the capabilities and the experiences that can be applied to their job. The second part is you potentially lacking the confidence to actually have an interview and come across as someone who's competent, someone who knows what they're talking about, someone who knows what they're getting themselves into, and someone who can actually go in and add value to the employer from day one. If you don't have these two things coming up, obviously they're gonna find something to tell you, and the first thing that they see is, oh, you have no experience. Why? Because probably in your resume you didn't put anything that will lead them to believe that, yeah, you're someone capable of doing this job. To give you an example, if you are someone who's being a manager at, let's say, a retail outlet, and then you want to be a manager at maybe a gas station, or you're gonna be a manager at an office, then they may tell you, oh, we feel like you don't have experience, but really, I mean, you have the capabilities of a manager. You've already done managerial work, even if it's in a different industry. So really what they're saying is, hey, I am not seeing how you fit in here, because everything that you have has to do with, I don't know, maybe you're working in tech and it's like, oh, I manage this process, this technological process, and what they're thinking of is how will you manage inventory and all that stuff. So if you can actually make your experience look considerably more interesting or more useful to the job that you're applying to, then that's gonna really help you out. Now, what if you are a teenager or someone who's younger and you really have no experience and you just wanna get into the game, right? And you feel like you don't have the qualifications either, right? So it's very hard for you to like spin previous experience into getting into the job. Now, I will say there's still a big factor when it comes to how you come across and all that stuff, because I remember that when I graduated college, I didn't even have internships. Like, I won't recommend that. I recommend you do internships if you can, even if they're free, so you get some experience, right? But I had no issue getting a job afterwards, because what I did for college was exactly what the job I had after college was about, which had to do with economics, right? At that time. So basically, it really has to do with the confidence and how you present yourself that you need to do. If you want to know more about that, stay on this video or watch some of my other videos that will have on these topics more in depth, right? But in the meantime, the suggestion will be have those two things packed. What you can do is you can practice interviews. You can look for examples of successful resumes for people who have managed to go into what you're trying to do. Maybe you're trying to get a job with no experience in retail. I mean, think about it. Like, are you really the kind of person who doesn't have the ability to work in retail? Like, I don't know, like maybe in a sales role, or maybe helping with the cashiers or any of the other things? chances are you have the capabilities. It's just that they are seeing you and they don't see how you can fit because you're not selling yourself effectively. So, okay, getting back to the point of like, okay, let's say that I have those two things in check, but I really don't feel like I have those qualifications, and the employers, they're all saying no, 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 or what I'm trying to do is something very different and it's very hard to spin my experience. Well, in that case, what you want to do is you want to consider the possibility of two things. One is potentially doing temp work in an area that is more similar to what you want to do. So for example, if you're someone who's been working at a pharmacy and you're kind of like more of a lab rat, let's say, and you want to start working in an office, maybe you want to start doing some temp work in an office setting, right? So you can start kind of like combine that. Once you get that experience, let's say you do 3 months, you can actually curb that and say, hey, you can spin it off. Okay, so I'm a person who worked at a lab, but I'm actually I have this experience working in an office. I loved it so much, and I'm actually now applying to this. I'm sure I can do this very well because that's exactly what I've been doing for these past 3 months, that kind of thing. Another thing you can do is actually you can go and get an internship. Like, it's gonna be hard for many employers to actually say no to you if you're willing to work for free. And you don't have to be a student to do an internship. You don't have to be someone else. Like, even if you're somewhat older, you can still do that. Now, some of you may think, yeah, but how am I gonna pay the bills? And I'm just gonna ask you, like, what is it more important for you? Like, right? Like, you have to pay the bills. Yes, you can keep doing what you're doing or get a part-time job, and then on off hours or on the weekends, then you can start working for free to get that extra experience on some of the employers that will actually need your work. For example, there are many startups. If you are living in a place where there are new companies that they always need the extra hands on deck, then you can go there after your normal full-time job. Like, let's say you have a 9 to 5, you go out at 6, and then you can work there at 7 or 8. Let's say you work there 3 hours, from 7 to 10 on the weekdays, or you work there on the weekends to kind of help them with something, right? That's in the case that you need some extra experience when it comes to being in a technology setting or a startup setting or an office setting or any other kind of employer that will be okay with getting that work, that extra pair of hands. Also, you can go for employers that have a high turnover rate or jobs that have a lot of people who don't want to do those jobs. I don't know, anything in like waste management. I believe the retail industry also has a very high turnover, right? Anything that is somewhat exploitative, but you don't think about it as a long-term solution. You think about it as a stepping stone in order to be able to gain that experience or that more similar experience to that which you want to do. So that will actually be my recommendation. If any of this made sense, comment below and let me know. If you have any questions or you have any other experience that could be very useful to all the other viewers. Also, remember to smash that like button below if you haven't already, and subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you know whenever a new video comes out.